Hi, best buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. No, it's not Valentine's Day, but I love hearts. I love using hearts, and I decided that we could make some puffed heart ephemera. We could make them into a pocket by gluing down the area about from here to here onto our page, and then we'd have a nice little tuck spot right here. We could pop it into a pocket, so we just take it and just put it into a pocket, and then you could take it out and feel just how wonderful this one, and this one make that wonderful noise. I'm thinking this one might too. Oh yeah, this one does too. What sound does this one make? Oh, it has a good sound. They all have a good sound. This one not so much, probably because it has this large fabric flower that actually came from a shirt. So you could decorate the top of a junk journal with these. You could just simply glue it onto a page, or you could glue it onto a piece of ephemera. I think they're lovely. Now, I have sewn all of them with my machine except for this one. So you do not have to have a machine to make this project, because this one is absolutely adorable as well. Sewn or not sewn, I think they're fantastic. This one I went around a few times, and I just thought it made a little bit more shabby or vintage style, shall we say. I love them all. I don't think I have a favorite. This one has a little pin in it, a safety pin. I don't know that I have one that I like above the others. This one I used a little piece of a wedding dress. This one was not coffee dyed, this piece. A bow, a bulb pin, a few little beads on there. This one and this one have a bulb pin and a couple of beads and an eyelet. These others do not have an eyelet. I've got a bell on the bottom of this one, and this one. And then the rest are just, decorated in using pieces. I've got pieces of lace, pieces of satin ribbon, little flowers that we made together. So grab your scraps and let me tell you how I've made these. Now this one, and this one right here, these three right here, they were made using coffee dyed tracing paper. That's what these were made out of this. The next set that I made were the book page. These three. I made these three out of book page. And you can use any book page you want. I would not suggest using the older book page that will, when you fold it, it breaks. Don't use that. That wouldn't work well for you. But any of the other book pages will work perfectly. And this one got rather late when I was making, or I would have made more. I'm thinking this is one of my favorites. I just love how it looks. Everything about it. I just love everything about it. This is going to surprise you. This is from this 6x6 square parchment paper. I do believe I bought this from the Dollar Tree. I think I did. And I made this with it. Now, the stuffing. First, I tried scraps of paper. That's what's in this one and this one. Didn't have any puff balls, cotton puff balls. I didn't have any of those. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I dug around And I found some of that wide net, you know, the kind that has the large holes. That's what I used. And I'm really happy that I didn't have any of the puff balls, because I think I would have stuck with that and not tried something else. This flattens completely out. That net that I just showed you, it flattens completely out. Completely. It just goes completely flat. So it's not going to cause you any problem in your junk journal. And it actually adds another little sound. Now, yes, these crinkle a lot because they are coffee dyed tracing paper. So just because the paper itself crinkles so much. So we're going to make each style. We're going to make 3 of them together. So what I did, the very first thing was, let's make the book page one first. So let's grab the book page ones out. There we go. What I did first was, remember way back when, or maybe you're young and maybe it's not so far back, we took a piece of paper, we folded it in half, we traced half of a heart, we opened it back up, and you do it until you get the shape of a heart that you really, really like. This is the shape of the heart that I used for each one of these. Okay, so that's what I started with. This is cardstock. It just made it a little easier for me. I got my book page, and mine happens to be a dictionary type style book page. And shall we make the one with the stamp? Because that one, yeah, let's make the one with the stamp. Now, you can choose whatever stamp that you want. I kind of wanted a big stamp on mine. You could stamp yours with a number, oops, with the heart. I just chose the butterfly. Now, the only thing that, yeah, there's a lot of writing here in the sticker. This is old. This is an old stamp I've had for a long time. If I take that sticker off, there's going to be so much sticky there. The only thing I could see on here was this sticker, which is 03, January, February, March 24th of 2014. That's all that's on this stamp. I do think it's pretty. It fits within my heart, and it takes up enough space that even if it goes crooked, then it's still going to look good. The first thing is I took my piece of paper and I just tilted it in the shape or the way I want my words to go. I don't want mine to be like this, because this line, the book page, I mean the dictionary has that line. So I'm just going to tilt it. I don't mind this. Now you're also going to need a little bit of extra space on the sides. So don't just, think, oh, I'm going to do mine like that. No, that wouldn't be a good idea for this project. I got something underneath here. All right, so what's on the other side? Okay, I think I'm going to do this one right here like this. I'm going to change my sides. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to draw around the edge of my template. And I'm doing it dark so you can see. All right, there's my heart. And the next thing I want to do, I'm going to grab my scissors over here underneath that net. And I'm going to just kind of trim it out like this, with a huge border around. Okay, something like that. Will this fit back over? Yeah, that'll fit back over. Okay, so I'm going to actually turn this back over like this. Now you kind of can remember where your heart is, and if you want, can I hold it up? And yeah, I can hold it up, and I can kind of pretty much get where that heart is. If you can't, I never did this part when I was making mine. But I'm thinking some of you are going to question, where's my heart? I just turned it over. So I just put my heart back on lightly. This is where we're going to need to come back over here. This is going to be our front. And get your stamp, whatever type of stamp that you would like. And I've got my Stays On black. Opening it up, and let's go ahead and get our stamp inked up. I'm going to put mine as a tilt because that means to me, whichever way I kind of tilt it, it's going to be okay. We've got that on. The next thing is we're going back on this side, and I've got to grab some of my net. Now I've cut my net. I don't know if you can see, I don't have a black shirt on today. I've cut my net into a strip. That's about a 2-inch strip. I didn't measure 2 inches and cut. I just cut a strip, okay? And now I'm going to take my netting and I'm going to glue it on to my paper. Now, I am using hot glue. If you don't have net, like I said, I used crunched up paper scraps. You could use that. You could actually maybe use some toilet paper or Kleenex. Napkin, those napkin pieces that we have after we pull the 3 plies apart. Or one of those puff things, but you're going to have to break that puff down pretty good. And I want it to be crinkly. I don't want it to be just flat. And I'm going to put it all around the edge and the center of my heart. So don't worry if you don't have this type of net. I've just given you some examples of things that you can use. And I know you all have toilet paper, so you could give that a try. And some of you will have puff balls, and I know you have scrap paper. So you have all kinds of things that you can give it a try. And in my examples, I showed you the ones I made with scrap paper, so that works out fine. So I'm just going around my heart, and I'm gluing on my net. Okay, I've gone around it. I trim my net back off, and I'm just going to anchor that one right in the center, the end, very end that I just now cut off. Okay, so now it looks just like this. You can see that net sticking up. Yeah, you most certainly can. All right, so I'm going to now move some things over so I can get my glue thing to stay right here on the side with me. Alrighty, so we're going to need another piece of paper. So I'm actually, let's see, will this fit here easily? To make it easy for the video, I'm going to use a bigger sheet just to make it easy. Alright, so I can see that this piece of net's coming over where my line is, so I'm going to fold it back on itself. I don't want my stuffing to come out from the lines. So I do have some that are trying to come over the line. I don't want that, the line of the heart, the shape that we drew. Alright, so I got them under control. That one's close. Let's move this over here. That one's very close. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my art glitter glue. You're going to need, I would think, a wetter glue. I don't think a glue stick's going to work well for you in this project. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think they're that strong. But a wet glue, even fabric tack would work. Something 2-in-1, something that's wetter, that will really soak into the paper. So I'm going to, you see where my heart is, because we lightly drew, well, we drew a heart on the both sides. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to place glue where I've drawn my heart. Just like that. And you can see I was generous with my glue. I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to place it on top, and I'm going to hold it down, and because that net is extremely pliable, it will allow me to do this, and there's just a little puff left. Turn on this side, press it down, and because we drew our heart on this side, we're going to know where we need to trim it. I'm going to move this over to the side, and let's bring in our tracing paper, coffee dyed tracing paper. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get my heart, and I'm going to place it about here, and I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm going to draw around my heart. Whoa, sorry about that. All right, so we've got our heart. Then I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to trim this out. I'm just going to do it this way first so that okay, put this aside. Now I'm going to just get a little closer to my heart. Now if you don't coffee dye, you could just use plain white tracing paper. It doesn't have to be coffee dyed. I just like that coffee dyed look. Now because it's tracing paper, you don't have to draw another one on the other side, because you just turn it over and you automatically can see through because it's tracing paper. And I'm going to get my little piece, and there's not that much left, so I'm going to have to get myself another little strip. I just have quite a bit of this folded up, and I'm just going to trim it with my scissors about an inch. Well, I'm not measuring, maybe it's 2 inches. I'm just trimming it, trimming a strip. Okay guys, got a strip going. Alrighty, so with my strip, I'll find the end. Here we are. Here's the end. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom with a little bit of glue. And I'm going to glue this on. And I'm kind of turning it, twirling it. You can see a little better on this one because it's the color. I'm twirling it just to give it a little bit of height. And remember, it's not going to hurt anything because it's so pliable. You can push it right back down. So turning it again. This stuff is really easily found. At least here in the States it is. It's the larger net. I even think they sell it at Walmart in a little packet thing. I know they sell it at Hobby Lobby and Joann's. It's easier to find than the real fine net, the one that doesn't have as large a holes. And I would suggest a cream or a white. I wouldn't suggest like a dark color, but I don't know if it would show through. I know it would show through this, especially if you didn't coffee dye it. And I'm pretty sure it would show through the parchment paper. But maybe you want pink to show through. In fact, as I'm thinking, pink with that parchment paper might be really pretty. I think I have some. You know, I've been cleaning this craft room in my home. It's still a disaster, you guys. Egads. It took me like one evening to clear everything out, and it has taken me, I think we're into a week now of it being in my front room, and I'm trying to go through everything and sort it out and decide what I want to keep and what I don't. Oh my goodness gracious. Oof. Okay, so now we've got our piece of tracing paper. And we're going to be putting that over the top like that. So, wet glue. This is my art glitter glue. And once again, you're going to really want to put some glue down. Don't be stingy on your glue. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this over the top. Just like that. I probably should have done the parchment one first, because I think it takes the longest to dry. But it's okay, you guys. Look at that. Wonderful. They're so cute. Trim this off. This, I'm going to set that one aside. And then we're going to make, so we've got this one. And now we've got this one. And it doesn't have a problem grabbing hold. If you're having a problem with it grabbing, maybe it's your glue, or maybe you've stuffed it too much. You don't want so much stuffing that you're not able to get the two pieces of paper together so they glue properly. Okay, and then there's this one. You can see the glue has made it wet. Okay, we've got this one. Now let's bring in our parchment paper. So they're 6-inch squares, and they're just like this. They're kind of waxy, suitable for all food items, non-stick, easy to clean, pre-cut, convenient, efficient. Sure Fresh is the name of the brand. 6x6 parchment paper. I'm pretty sure I purchased it at the Dollar Tree, so it's not much money. Once again, we're going to take our paper, and I'm thinking that I might want to change from my pencil. Does this? No, it marks on here just fine. For some reason I was thinking it didn't. I'm going to mark it heavily so you can see it, so you won't have a problem seeing it. There we go. Okay. And then, you see it on the back side? Yep. So you don't have, the only thing you have to trace similar on the back is the book page, because you couldn't see through it. So this is our front. This is, or you could deem this to be the inside. I would rather do it this way, because when I cut my heart out, I'm not going to cut where you can see that line. I'm going to cut inside that line. I don't want that color, that to show. Once again, we're back with our net and finding the end of my net. I know you cannot see this, so I'm going to do this one off camera, because you just struggle to try to see this net on this parchment paper. All right, so I have my net on my parchment paper. You can actually see it because there's enough on there that it shows up. Taking my second piece of parchment paper, using my art glitter glue, I'm going to apply my glue right on here like this. This is kind of coming over. I didn't see it. I needed to trim that off. I have some pieces that are of my net that are over. I don't want to get glue on my, we're not even going to trim it because I don't want to get glue on my scissors. I'm just going to put it right over the top. And this, you can truly see the glue spread out. It's okay. But you see, it grabs a hold just fine. There's not any problem with the glue not grabbing hold, at least the art glitter glue. I've had a lot of people say, what is art glitter glue? It's this. I know it. I find it to be a strange name myself. But that is the name of it. Alrighty. So we've got that done. We've got our 3 hearts stuffed. We've got our papers on the front and back. They're stuffed. This one has a stamp. I'm going to go get this dried, and we're going to continue. I've got my hearts dried, or pretty close to being dried. Now, I have some Fiskars mini pinking shears. Now, if you don't have this, I'm digging in here to see. I've got standard Fiskars pinking shears. Now, I chose to use my small ones, but if you don't have small ones, you could use large ones too. And let's go ahead and use the small ones on, let's use them on here. Now, if you don't have either type of pinking shears, you could just simply cut it out using your standard style scissors. That would be fine too, you guys. So I'm trimming it out just to make it a little easier. That's a nice piece to save. Oh, more scraps. That's a nice piece to save. I'm going to save those two nice pieces, and I'm not going to save those. Alrighty, so those are, this like this would be fine if you didn't have that neck. I just crumpled it up when I did these. You can actually, you can't, I don't, there you go. You can see the pieces. See the pieces in there? I just crunkled it up like this, and I put it down. I spread it out. And that's what I use for my stuffing the first time I tried it. All right, back to trimming this out. So I want to trim so I don't see my lines anymore. So just trim around. That's all there is to it. Just trim it out. It's really, you know, it's a little chewy. It's probably not completely dry. It's a little chewy. That's how it feels. Kind of feels like there's gum in there, and you're trimming it around. This is the hardest part right there. And then I go down this way. Yeah, it just feels like you're going through gum. And then when you pull it, yeah, see, there's the glue. Just let's go. Now I'm going to go back in with my little tiny scissors and get that heart-shaped point right there and remove that. There we go. So that's how I address that point area, pointed area. And then just follow your line around. Now you can see I do have a little bit of pencil line. And you could take your gum eraser and brush it if you want, although it really doesn't bother me. Although since I said that, let's try, since I said it. This is my gum eraser, art gum eraser. I didn't realize it was art gum. Bought it, my father got me using these. He was a wonderful artist and calligrapher. And in fact, I have some of his pieces that I think I want to get on my Etsy shop. But anyway, he used those. A lot of artists use them. All right, so I've got that all cut out. Now, whether you take it to your machine and you sew it around, that's all up to you. But even just like this, even just like this, it's truly adorable. And it's just that little puffiness. All right, so this one, let's use the standard ones on this one, since maybe, let me see if my other ones are better. None of them are real good. Okay, here we go. Cutting around. Some of you are going to say, oh, I like the bigger ones better. It's all a personal choice. It's pretty cute. No matter what you use, it's doggone cute. Here's the only glitch right there. It's a glitch. These are bigger, so get that off. I might finish it off with my scissors. Yeah. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to go right in there. You're not going to be able to really tell that I use scissors in there. Like that. I'll put on my shirt. You can see it better there. Yeah. Perfect. So, following it around. I tried all those things you guys told me about. Sticking scissors. I tried them all. It worked a little better on this one. Okay, so we got a funny little tip right there. I'm just going to trim it off right there. And there you have, let me put it on this one. You have the standard size pinking shears. And here is the other one. So now, maybe you don't have pinking shears at all. Well, let's address that issue also. I'm going to bring in my standard. Now, I always use Tim Holtz. These are Tim Holtz. You can actually see the trademark, Tim Holtz. I love them. If you get them, these are Tim Holtz too. They are so sharp, you guys. I cut myself the first time, and it was a nice little cut. So much so that people say, oh my goodness, what did you do to yourself? Yeah, it was kind of ugly. So do be very careful. Very, very sharp. But I've had these for quite some time, and so far they have not gotten dull. Or if they have, they were so sharp I couldn't tell that they're dull. That they're dull now because they're so sharp. Okay, down to the point. Going around the other side. Down to the point. This one we might want to try that eraser on, because I'm not quite getting that mark removed. Not bad. I didn't get the mark removed right there at the tip. Right there at the tip, and right here on the side. I could probably just cut that. Oh yeah, see, it just comes right off. Okay, so it's going to look adorable, whether you use the regular standard scissors, or whether you use mini pinking, or whether you use the large ones. All right, now, if you're an inker, if you like that look, this is when you want to bring in your ink and highlight the edge. And then what I did was I kind of rubbed it on the top, and it picks up some of the crinkles, and I think it looks pretty. Now, see, here's the side that I didn't do it on, and here's the side that I did it on. So I personally like it. You know, like I said, it's all a personal taste. If you like it, do it. If you don't like it, then don't do it. It's all okay. It's going to be pretty no matter how you choose to do it. And we've got this on here. And then you could highlight it a little bit by just here and there, darkening it up if you wish. So there it is, darkened up like that. And then like this. So whatever you want. Now, I also thought when I was doing that stamp with the butterfly, I thought, well, it would be pretty cute if you got your, whether it was your colored pencils or your markers, it'd be cute to color in, you know, especially, you know, like for fall. If you did orange and stuff with the black, I think that would be really pretty. But, you know, I've got so many ideas. They just all go in my head, and I can't do every one of them. A lot of people say, how do you come up with all these ideas? You guys, that's what a creative mind does, and some of us have them and some of us don't. And I didn't do anything special to get it. The good Lord gave it to me, and so they just come to me. There's no explanation. If you don't have that kind of creative mind, you have other talents that I don't. You can read that ruler and you're great at it. You won't measure it, and you measure it 3 times, you get 3 different measurements. Maybe you have that skill. I do not have that skill. All right, so I've got my dish here. It's got all kinds of things in it. I've got some pieces of doily. I've got a little mini tassel right here. I've got this little piece of vintage something or other that's from 1924 linens and more. I thought that might be really pretty on this one, right? And this one, I don't know, that's kind of sweet. I also think, oh, I've got this. That's what we used in my example. least, where it was, here it is. Yeah, we used that on my example. So it does look good on there, doesn't it? I even used, got a little tiny paper clip. I mean, a little tiny, yeah, one of those clothespins. There's the bells. I've got some buttons. Buttons would be really cute. I've got some beads, and I've got some bulb pins. So what I'm going to do, and the Sorry Silk from Crimson Heart Studios, what I think I would like to do is I'm going to sew the white one, because I just think this looks so good, and I like it with the black too. Well, it just kind of makes it pop. I am going to sew this one, and I'm going to sew the, let's sew this one and leave this one plain so that people, you know, if they don't have a sewing machine, you're not left out. I'm going to sew them. We'll continue. All right, so as you can see, I brought in my box of scraps. And let's address this sewing on the machine. Now this one, I wanted to go around a couple times. This one, I had no plans on going around a couple times, but I wasn't sitting straight at my sewing machine because I had some stuff in the way and I didn't want to move it. And that caused me to go like this, right? So how do you fix that? You just keep going around. And it just looks like it was planned. Okay, that was not planned. All right. So there are my strings that I'm going to tie my bevel onto. You start your needle here, you go around whatever times you want. You stop your needle here, you've got your strings right down here at the point. You leave them fairly long, and of course well, one's really short. I don't know how that one got so short, but anyway, you leave them fairly long, and I just moisten that so that you can stick it through the holes of your bell. And see if I can get that little one in there. I did. And you bring it up to the point. Let's see, I've kind of got a lot of stuff going on here, don't I? You bring it up to the point of your heart, and you make a knot. So yeah, you have a lot of strings here, and I've got one that's super short. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So you pull them through, and you just make yourself a little knot right there. So I'm going to do it again. Hopefully you can get that through there. Okay, pulling it, making my little knot. There we go. I think we got it. So now it's on the bottom, and I've got these 4 strings, and I'm going to separate them into 2 and 2 like this, and then I'm going to make another knot right on top just to make sure that it's not going to come off like that. Okay, and then I'm going to trim off my pieces, and then we've got our bell hanging, dangling from the end. Let's go ahead and let's put an eyelet on this one right here. I'm looking for my, I can only have so much out, guys. My table gets so full, I can only have so much out. Let's see, let's put, I'm going to put it over here because I have a lot of space where I kind of, you know, did that ooh-ooh thing, that boo-boo thing. And I think I want it up fairly high right here. If it'll, there we go. Yeah, I went through my stitching, but that's okay. Just take your scissors and trim it. Okay, so now it looks like, well, it looks like that. Okay, now, of course, you're going to need to get your eyelet. Now, if you don't have an eyelet, you could use a hole saver. So let's grab a hole saver, because I know not all of you have eyelets. An eyelet would make it look like this. But if you don't have an eyelet, and I'm going to grab a hole saver, Here's my hole saver. I don't want it to be white, so I'm going to grab my sponge and I'm just going to color it. And I want two of them. Put one on the front, one on the back. I'm going to add my glue right around here. I don't trust these to stay on. They're old. I've had them for a long time. And I'm going to put it right on like that. Just dabbing the glue off like with my finger. And then let's do the same thing to this one. Pop that on. Okay, so there's your hole saver, and I do think it's pretty important to have them. After that's dry, you could probably make that darker. Yeah, I think it'd look cuter darker. Some white. There we go. Super cute. Now you could stick, let's see, what else do we want? Let's do some other things to it. We've got this dark, and what else do I have here? I've got, this is probably going to show up really well on here. You could probably too big. Alrighty. Well, I don't know if some of you want to see me do all this. Now, if you're a person that doesn't want me to go through all this stuff and find what I want and put it on, this is where you fast forward. That's what your fast forward thing is for. Use that. Okay. Oh, this would be pretty on here. This is a piece of the wedding dress that I found at the thrift store for, I think it was like $7. Yeah, it was something crazy, crazy wild. I think I like that a lot. So I'm actually going to trim this off like this, and let's pop that on there. It's going to hang like that because of the hole. It's going to hang in that direction. So let's glue it in that direction so it will look like it's, there we go. Just pop that on there. Now these little pearls, they're wanting to come off because once you start cutting, they're all kind of connected on one piece of thread, so I just glue them back down. That's how I'm going to fix that problem. Just glue the hearts, glue them back down. I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to glue them right here. There. Just get them glued on there. Oh, that looks great. Okay, now you could add something else. You could add, that's kind of pretty there. You could add some handmade silk flowers. We made those before. Or you could pop a button. I don't know how button pearls look. Looks great. Let's pop that on there. Just like that, you guys. What do you think? I think that was pretty cute. I've got the bolt pen, and shall we use this one? I've got a couple of little beads that will go on here. You can pop that on there. You could put a bow on there, some ribbon, but we'll just do it this way for now. And just pop that right on there. So now you can pop this onto a piece of lace. You could make this as part of your decoration, like a dangle. I think that one's really cute. Okay, we've got that one finished. Now, this one right here, we did not do any of the sewing on this one. What shall we do for this one? I think I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in Now this, I've got a big, I used to have this stand that had big drawers in it. I bought it at Walmart. Here, let's use the black. I bought it at Walmart a year or two ago, and I'm not going to use it like that anymore. I took the drawers out, and I've got my laces packaged in Ziploc bags in those plastic bins under one of my shelves. Oh, that's cute. So I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to have to pleat this just a little bit as it goes around. I'm going to try to get this on here like this. Okay. And black and hot glue, they don't mix too well. Sometimes you can see the glue on the black. I'm trying not to do that, so let's see if I can accomplish that. Okay, I'm just going to take it down this side right here. I'm using my little stick to help me not get glue everywhere. And I think, what do I want to do when I get down here to the point? I'm not real sure yet. Can I get it on the glue? That would help. Okay, do I want to, I think I'm going to trim it. I'm going to give it a trim. And do I want to take it back up part way, or, yeah, just part way. Just a little bit. Not all the way up. Just part way. Now, I'm going to have to address, there's that piece of glue. There, came right off. Address this bottom issue. This needs to be glued a little better right here, guys. Just a little bit. Now, right here where I trimmed it off, see, there's a little thing right there. Maybe a button will fix it. Ah, that looks pretty cute. Now, I'm afraid that if I just do that button there, it's not going to have enough to hang on to, and eventually it'll come off. So let's maybe pop a little bit of flat lace right here. I'm going to take my stick and I'm just going to make it kind of have some height. Maybe I did it not very well. Didn't do it very well this time. So, how am I going to fix that? I'm going to put another piece of glue here, and we're just going to push it up in it. I need to give it a little movement. There, I like that much better. See, see it on there? Okay, now I can pop my button right there, and I will be happy with it there. And you know, I don't know, if maybe you want to put a loop on there, you could put a loop. I think I would like to, well, I do have another button somewhere. I thought I did. There they are. Oh, we were going to do this. That's what we were going to do. Well, we need something here. I need a bow or something. Let me grab my bows. All right, so I found a tassel. I didn't like it. I put a little bit of satin ribbon on there. Now, to me, this needs a little something. I can't find my black beads, flat beads, but I think it needs a little something on there, or possibly maybe just make it a little darker. It needs something, I think, but I haven't quite, you know, I've torn out my craft room. I can't really find what I'm looking for, but I still think that's pretty cute. It'll give you some ideas. Now let's address this one right here, and I think This one is extremely vintage style. And let's use this right here from 1924 Linens and More. Maybe something like that, but I think it needs a little net. And I'm over here in my box, and I'm just cutting this little piece, going, I think maybe underneath, and then that on top. Yeah, we need some layers, and let's grab some ribbon. All right, so I made a little bow with a very pale satin ribbon. We've got this net right here that has been coffee dyed. I'm going to pop that on at the base. I want that on the bottom. So vintage style or shabby type of style is definitely layering it up. I've got a black safety pin, and I'm going to pop it on there first. I think that would be cute if we have that on there. I'm not quite sure what direction I want it to be in. Maybe like there. Then I've got this little price tag that I've inked up. I put some thread on it, and I put a little pearl just on one side because I want this to lay flat, maybe about right there. And I'm just looking to see. It keeps getting caught on the glue gun, the little strings from the glue gun. They're like little, what do I want to say? I'm losing my words. What are they? I can't think of what I want to say. All right, I'm going to pop this underneath. They're like little spider webs. That's the word I'm trying to think. They're like little spider webs. Okay. It needs to be a little shorter, doesn't it? I don't know. It's getting caught on everything now. I think my problem is I'm trying to hurry. I see what time it is. It's a pretty long video. Clear off all the spider webs. Okay, it's looking pretty cute. Now we've got this. Let's pop that on top. I'm leaving my strings. I tied my bow with my thread. And last time I went to Joann's and looked at their thread. They do have thread. Now this is vintage, but they have thread that's from Germany that's really thick and looks very, very similar to that. So I know, even though that's vintage, I know that you can find something similar because I bought some actually. It's down there in my drawer. I'm going to pop this on. I just want that pink ribbon to be softened a little bit. So I'm going to pop that little net on there. Now I do believe it's time to pop our little satin rose clusters. I purchased these pre-made. I'm not sure where, I think it was Walmart. I'm just going to get those put on there like that. Now on any of these you can add an eyelet or a hole saver, and you can make them into dangles. Absolutely any of them. You guys, I love these. I don't know which one I like better, but I'm telling you, it does not have to be Valentine's Day for you to enjoy your hearts on your junk journals and your ephemera. I love this project. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.